Good morning, Hope Littles. I hope you're doing really well. I've been missing seeing you guys, and I'm glad you could join me this morning. Do you know who else is here to join us? The one and only Allie. Can you say good morning? Allie is excited to see you too. Good morning. I hope you are all doing well today. Allie also brought something special with him. He brought a blanket. This is one of his most special blankets. Do you have a special blanket? Blankets make us feel warm and safe and cozy, and our story today is going to be about feeling safe and how God can help us feel safe. So Miss Heather told you a story last week about Elijah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Elijah and how God kept him safe. But before we start, let's open in prayer. Would you close your eyes, bow your heads? Allie, can you close your eyes too? And we're going to say a prayer this morning before we start our story. Dear Jesus, thank you for a new day. Thank you for things that make us feel safe and cozy, like blankets. Lord, we thank you too that we can feel safe with you. Thank you for the story we're going to hear about Elijah today and how you kept him safe. Amen. Well, Allie brought some pictures to share our story. And if you remember, last week, Miss Heather shared a story about a man named Elijah. And Elijah went to be in a cave. And a cave can be a scary and dark place. That's why we have our blanket here today, to help us remember that we can feel safe, just like God kept Elijah safe. And God spoke to Elijah, and he did it in a special way. Elijah was in the cave, and he went outside and he walked around, and he was listening for God. Well, there was a very, very strong wind that came up. Can you make a sound like the wind? Wind sounds really, really loud, and wind can be really scary when it's strong because it can blow things over. And Elijah listened for God in the wind, but he didn't hear him. Then something really scary happened. An earthquake. An earthquake is when the ground shakes and rumbles, and it's a very noisy sound that can be really, really scary. But God wasn't in the earthquake. That must have been really scary for Elijah. Then there was a fire. Now we know fires can be really scary too, especially when it's a really big fire. And Elijah watched the fire and he listened for God. But he didn't hear God's voice in the fire. So Elijah kept waiting and waiting. And then he heard a gentle whisper. I'm going to whisper in Allie's ear a minute and see if you can hear me when I whisper. Did you hear that whisper? Probably not, because a whisper can be really, really quiet. Try to whisper. Can you whisper something to mom or dad, or to your brother or sister that might be in the room? When you whisper, it's really, really quiet. And in order to hear a whisper, you have to be really quiet so that you can hear that. Well, Elijah heard God's voice in the whisper. It wasn't the loud things, it wasn't the scary things, it was the quiet things that he heard God's voice. So that reminds us we can always be listening for God. And even during those even during the earthquake and the fire and the wild, wild wind, God kept Elijah safe. And he kept Elijah from feeling scared. Just like when we have blankets that are cozy that help us feel safe, God wrapped himself around Elijah to help protect him and keep him safe. he really is excited to see you guys this morning, and he hopes that you remember that God will always keep us safe. And he's ready to say goodbye. Have a good day, friends. Bye.